Boom! At the open, all-time high for the S&P 500.
It's your boy Jimmy. Jimmy.
Now what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil, doesn't make up happen.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning, I wanna turn on this. Deck it quick. While the average man looking at this act like she fine as it. I'm over here looking at tails and whips like 5-6. I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stock pick. I know that booty got dropped, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater, Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounce. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thumb, roll with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, big profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and die. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL, make profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. Yeah. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call a short squeeze. You get the drop, pull the trigger, and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit them up with this resistance. Watch them roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and egg, make profits. Light up, watching them hand, make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETF. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Shug, Mike, what we doing? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Make profits. That TTG money gang, making profits. We some snipers.
Hey, you. What's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. Hope you guys all had a fantastic week. It's been a monster week inside True Trading Group. Don't forget, it's a long weekend this weekend. The markets are closed on Monday, so we're going to be going live Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, not Sunday at 8:30 like we usually do. So make sure you guys set your reminders now so you guys don't miss out on the live stream for Monday, where I'm going to go over my outlook and game plan for next week. That's going to be, again, at 2 p.m. Eastern on Monday. You guys can set your reminders, go over my entire game plan, and walk you through what I think happens in the markets next week. But we got a good live stream in store for you guys here today as we finally finish out the final 10 minutes of the trading session here. Also going to be interviewing a very special guest on this live stream that you all are going to be very pleased to hear from. And I think someone that you all should and need to hear from. So welcome to the True Trading Group live stream, folks. My name is Michael Edward, former award-winning hedge fund trader, now the current head trader at True Trading Group. If you don't know by now, we are the fastest growing and highest rated premium online educational platform available today. If you're ready to learn, trade, and profit for real, you've come to the place. 6 nights a week, Sunday through Friday, we go live right here for free, where myself, other TTG Pro Trader moderators, and special guests drop golden nuggets to give you free lessons, education, trade ideas, and analysis that can help you become better traders. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, make sure you guys never miss out on any of these lives. But why should you listen to anything I say? Simple. I did not figure this stuff out on my own. I began my career working at a fund in New York City. It's my first job out of college. While there, I went through a 3-month educational training program where I was taught the proper way from professionals, right? Then 2008 happened. That was the Great Recession. The stock market crashed in the same year, though, that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now you fast forward, I'm the head trader and co-founder of TTG. Along with my team of 9 other professional trading mods and over 30-person staff, we've helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals of becoming profitable. We're the fastest growing and highest rated community out there because we combine university level trading and investing courses, similar to the stuff I learned that I worked at the fund in New York. We paired that with premium stock market tools. We do workshops and do mentorship for stocks, options, crypto, futures, for all styles of trading, day trading, swing trading, and also, yes, even long-term investing. And see, we take that university curriculum, folks, and we pair it with today's top financial tools that would normally cost you $5,000 a year. These are tools that successful traders use to help them make better decisions. They use them, so should you. Problem is they're expensive. So we as a company have spent years building relationships with these firms so we can put their products and tools on our platform at no additional cost to you. Automatically right there saves you around $5,000 a year. You also get access to the TTG fam, all of our members, the most educated, helpful, supportive, and successful community of traders and investors you're ever going to find. Not to mention, you get all the real-time trade alerts from myself and the other mods from True Trading Group that I've been able to maintain a cumulative win rate amongst all of us as a group of just around 80% now going on the last 3 years. So again, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, share this on your own social media. We want to reach out, educate, and empower as many retail traders as we possibly can. All right. So folks, we got about six or 7 minutes to go here before we wrap things up for the day. And it's a quiet day in the markets today. It's a very quiet day in the markets today. You had a gap down today, some further continuation to the downside from the reversal from Thursday, which was when you got some comments from some Fed members. Loretta Mester, she had some comments, then Bullard had some comments. And Bullard's comments were the real ones that really shook the market, really shook the trees. And that caused a sell-off late in the day on Thursday. That weakness continued into this morning session, but we found our footing around 404 on the SPY. We've triple bottomed at this price now, during the day. We got down to it a handful of times, could not break it, held it. Now we're bouncing back to 407. It's been a really, really tight range, 404 bottoms, 407 tops. Not a big trading range on the day today. As you've gotten a ridiculous amount of economic data over the last couple of days. And today, no different. You got more economic data that came out in the markets today, and it was your leading economic indicators. Leading economic indicators today were minus 0.3. The expectation was minus 0.3. Much better than the previous month, which was minus 0.8. So still a minus number, which is, minuses aren't good for leading economic indicators, but improving from the last month of the minus 0.8. But it came in right in line with the expectations of 0.3. Okay. You had some more comments, though, today from Fed members, Fed governors, Fed presidents had more comments today. You had Fed Governor Bowman saying that I need to see consistent declines in inflation. The jobs data for January does not indicate that we are slowing the economy. So that is Fed Governor Bowman talking about we're not slowing the economy. Therefore, he doesn't think that inflation is consistently or on a steady decline. That means it's going to be a little bit more sticky. You also had comments from that same Fed governor saying that my business contacts still report very, very, very strong labor shortages. So some very big labor shortages, which tells you that you still have a very strong labor market. And inflation, we know, came in this week higher than expected for CPI, higher than expected for PPI, and you had higher than expected retail sales. So all of these data points that have come out so far this week, they tell you a couple of things. They tell you that the consumer is still spending. They tell you that the labor market is still very, very tight and very strong. It tells you that inflation is coming down, but not at as fast of a pace as it came down the prior 3 to 4 months. So when we hit 9% on the CPI print back in the summer of last year, since then, inflation has been coming down rapidly, down to what is now 6.4 on your CPI number. But your previous month was 6.5, right? So you're looking at some of these numbers that are coming through here, and there are very small declines now from this month to the previous month versus the last 3 to 4 months. You've been seeing like 0.5, 0.6 basis point drops in inflation, and the numbers have been coming in under expectations, not this month. When I say this month, I mean January. The data you get this month is from the previous month for January's data that you got this week. And it shows that inflation is much higher than the expectations were. And you've had a lot of choppiness in this market because the market's trying to balance, well, if inflation is high, well, that's bad because that means the Fed's going to be more aggressive. If the Fed's more aggressive, that means bigger chance of a recession. But then the economy is still really strong. The consumer is still really strong. The jobs market is still really strong. So if that's the case, then you're not going to have a recession. And the market has been balancing these two items. And you've been getting this tug of war over the last couple of weeks, which is why really all that you have accomplished in these last 2 weeks is just trading in this range. You're just trading in this range. I mean, this is just like a little trading range here. You got 405 support. You got, up in the 417, 418 resistance. And you've just been stuck inside this range as people digest all of this economic data that we've had so far in the month of February. You had the big rally in January, and now you've been kind of consolidating and trading sideways in the month of February. So far, February has been an absolute monster of a month. Today's a very small green day for me. I made some money shorting AMD. It's nothing to write home and tell my mother about, but this has been a monster month for us so far. We've had 10 or 12 triple-digit gain trades already to start off the first month and a half of the year. That's the kind of heat that this market has been bringing for us. It's just been absolutely lights out type of trading. And this week was no different. We started off the week with some monsters Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the markets got a little choppy on Thursday and Friday and some smaller green days kind of mixed in there. But we had a red hot start to the week, and it's been just a phenomenal trading month of February, but it's really been a phenomenal trading month of 2023 in general. Right? Okay, guys, we're about to close here. We got about 30 seconds before the close. But let's see, we're going to close right up here, right up near the high of the day is right where we're going to close here. You see, these are highs of the day, 407.50. These are your highs. And we're about to get up and then close in just a couple of minutes. I mean, a couple of seconds, sorry. And your closing bell in 5 seconds. And there you guys have it. So there we are. We are closed. A nice little recovery on that early morning sell-off on the SPY, and we closed up near the high of the day. Still red on the day, red 0.25. Very small red day in the markets. Right, very small red day in the markets, but a nice little recovery there. Still underneath 408. This 408, 408.50. This is a big level that we are going to be paying attention to next week. Remember, the markets are closed on Monday, and you can see this previous support level. Then before that, it was resistance. This is on the bottom left of my screen. You know what? I'll go full size screen now. You guys can see this on my full size screen. And that'll be better and easier for you guys to see. This is the level that we're going to be watching very, 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 very closely. And you will see yesterday's close, support, support, support. You'll see it previously was resistance there on the 10th. And then as you go back even further, you see support, 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 right? So this is why this 408.50 level is going to be a very big level for us. Okay, this 408.50 is going to be a big level for us. We're paying attention to this to continue to be resistance. If we get back over 408.50, you're right back into this choppy consolidation. And this is very, very choppy consolidation. So you'd be right back up into it if we were to get back above it. I would prefer if we can stay underneath this 408.50 and then continue to trade back to the downside. And then when you break today's low, you look for a move back to 400. And that would be a very, very tradable move that can provide us with some phenomenal opportunities. But we got to wait and see what happens on Tuesday when the markets open up. If we open up underneath 405.50, I'll look for that to be resistance. We'll try to get short off of it. If we open above it, you got to take a step back and you got to reassess and look for some relative strength plays to try to be long some relative strength. Stocks that have been stronger over the last couple of days and have not participated in the pullback from yesterday afternoon and the downward move today. So you look for stocks that are green over the last 2 days instead of red to find some relative strength going into next week. All right, so that's the area that we're going to be looking for us there. Now, speaking of Monday, the markets are closed for President's Day, so we are running our President's Day sale for the next 40 people that would like to join the True Trading Group platform. I'm curious to see how many people are on the live stream right now that are not members of True Trading Group. If you guys are not members of True Trading Group, just go ahead and type the letters TTG. Just go ahead and type the letters TTG right now. If you guys are not members of the group, I'd just like to see how many people we have that are with us here because we do have our President's Day sale that we're going to run here this weekend. Just go ahead and type TTG. Anna Braga. Very nice. Scott Western. James Puccio. I actually knew a kid in high school named James Puccio. All right, guys, cool. Listen, for those of you that are typing TTG, let me just show you guys real quick. I want to make sure you guys are all well aware of the offer that we've got running for you guys for this weekend. And again, guys, we do not have laptops. I'm sorry, we do not have laptops. We have been not able to get our hands on them for like the last week. We do not have any more laptops. All right. Do not have any more laptops. But for President's Day this weekend, we will have 40 spots available until Monday at midnight for anyone that wants to join the True Trading Group platform for just $920. That gets you access to all of our courses and all of our tools. There are no upsells for courses, no upsells for tools. The price is normally $2,212. You guys get it here on this live stream for $920. You just have to go to ttgoffer.com, enter the coupon code TTG121. Okay. Click apply code. The price will drop down to $920. You'll get a free one-on-one mentor session with your membership. You'll also get a double your money back guarantee. So if you don't make back the $920 at least once during your membership, after going through the courses, passing the quizzes, and attending a study group, we'll give you back double. So we'll give you back $1,840 if you guys are unable to make back the $920 at least once. I do that because we've only had to give a refund to 2.83% of our users, and 78% of our members renew their membership. So based on those numbers and those statistics, I can very confidently tell you that this has worked for thousands of people. I have no problem offering a double your money back guarantee to anybody that joins the platform here this weekend. Again, there's 40 spots. That's if you go to ttgoffer.com, enter the coupon code TTG121. It gets you all of our courses. Joe, you can post a link up in chat. You'll see exactly the list of all the course material that you guys are going to have access to. It's similar to the stuff that I learned that I worked at the fund in New York. No gimmicks, guys. Real hardcore professional education that I was taught working on Wall Street. You also get Benzinga Pro's real-time news feed. You get congressional trade data, so like Congress members and their family members, what stocks they're buying and selling, you'll get that. Insider trades, so insider buying, insider selling. You get Quote Media's full book level 2, Trading View Premium's charting software. You get a simulator from ETNA, lets you practice trading with fake money but real-time data. You get dark pool data, unusual options activity, options flow, a social sentiment scanner, a trading journal, the trade ideas scanner. All of these things are included with your membership for the $920. You just have to go to ttgoffer.com, enter the coupon code TTG121. If you have any questions about this membership at all, or questions about myself, questions about the platform, questions about our trading, anything at all, we're a full, open, transparent book. Just text us 786-505-4049. Phone number's at the bottom of your screen. Also, if you're currently a trial member, or you used to be a trial member, or you used to be an annual member, you guys want to come back for a $920 deal, you have to send a text message to the number at the bottom of your screen because we have to whitelist your email address. So text us 786-505-4049. Again, that double your money back guarantee is there, folks. It's there for peace of mind. It's there to make you guys, for you to be able to hold us accountable. We're 5-star rated on Trustpilot with over 2,000 reviews. And I mean, honestly, guys, we've grown. Thousands of people are joining TTG's platform every single year. And it's just become just tremendous organic growth because we focus very much on, if our members are successful, then we will be successful as a business. We don't spend millions of dollars on marketing. People join True Trading Group. They have success. They tell their friends, their family, they join. They have success. They tell their friends, their family, their coworkers, they join, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is how True Trading Group has grown organically. And we're going to keep it that way because as long as our members do have success, as long as our members are making money, becoming better traders, then we will do well as a business. And True Trading Group is a business. We have 30 employees at TTG. Okay. And we're looking to continue to grow this platform, but we can do so because of the results that our members have. And you don't have to take my word for it. Members of True Trading Group are making money, becoming better traders. The vast majority of them are. And do me a favor, guys, members of TTG, go ahead and type the $ right now. If you're making money, you're becoming better traders because of our platform, go ahead and type the $ right now in chat. Anyone that's not a member, pay attention to how many people type the $. Maybe one day you will be typing one of these $. They do this not because they're smarter than you, not because they're luckier than you, not because they have more money than you, not because they have more time than you, not because they have more experience than you. They're typing the $ because they have access to some things that you do not, which is a professional level of education like the one that I received when I worked at the fund in New York, access to tools and resources that successful traders use, and they're part of a community that generally gives a damn whether or not they succeed or fail. That is why you're seeing so many people type the $. These are not bots. These are people just like you. Same excuses, full-time job, no experience, lost money before, small account. They have all the same excuses. If they can do it, so can you. All right. So there you guys have it. Yo, Jimmy Hart, my man. Happy birthday. Everybody give a big shout out, a big happy birthday to my boy, Jimmy Hart. Big shout out and happy birthday to my boy, Jimmy Hart. Nice. Young Tito. So I just joined TTG on Monday night. My first day was Tuesday. This is a great, in big capital letters, service. And the value you get is unlike anything you'll ever get anywhere else. Thank you, Young Tito. Thank you very much for that comment. And welcome to the family. I'm glad that you are enjoying your time with us. It's only been a few short days. and you're already enjoying your time with us. But yeah, that's the truth. That's what True Trading Group is all about. It's all about the value. It's all about providing retail traders and investors with a real chance, leveling the playing field for you, empowering you, because it's not realistic. It's not realistic to think that you're going to just open up a Robinhood account, go on Reddit, and be successful. It's not realistic, right? So we know at True Trading Group that for the average retail trader to go and spend $5,000 or $6,000 on a bunch of tools, spend another $1,000 or $2,000 on some courses, and then fund their trading account on top of that, that's a big ask. And a lot of people aren't comfortable doing that. So they put $1,000 into Robinhood and they go on Reddit and they lose it all. They blow up their account. They put another $1,000 into their account. They go on Twitter. They lose it all. They blow themselves up. Then they say the stock market's a scam. How could you say the stock market's a scam when you have absolutely no idea what you are doing? You're not doing it the right way. You're not thinking about it the right way. You're not making the right actions. You're not doing the right things during the right times, not even close, and wondering why you're not having success. We know that you need these things. You need a real education. You need real tools in order to be successful. That's why we worked so hard in creating this business model that offers you everything for one low price, $920 for the entire year. That's it. That includes all of your courses, and that includes all of those tools. You don't have to ever pay us another dollar for those courses or those tools again. They're all included. That is how you level the playing field for the retail trader and investor. That is what you get when you join True Trading Group. That is why you saw so many people type the $, because they have the ammunition, they have the tools, they have what they need in order to become successful. They're not relying on Twitter and social media and Reddit in order to get their trading ideas, in order to make their decisions. They're relying on a professional education and real professional tools to make better decisions. That is how they're becoming successful. The next 40 people have a chance at the exact same thing for just $920 by going to ttgoffer.com and entering the coupon code TTG121. Click apply code. The price drops down to $920. Check out, and you're good to go. You get a free one-on-one mentor session, and you get the double your money back guarantee. All right? So there you guys have it. All right, folks. So that's where we're at here with the overall markets. It was a slower, choppy day. That resistance at 4,850 is still firmly intact. And we're going to be relying on that level going into Tuesday. We're going to be relying on that number going into Tuesday to see if we're still underneath 4,850. I'll be thinking short-minded. If we're above it, I'll be thinking for some longs on some relatively strong names. And that'll be the game plan going into next week. But Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, don't forget, set your reminders, because I'm going to go over with you my exact detailed game plan Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So set your reminders now. Okay? All right, guys. So with that being said, I would like to now move on to the next part of our live stream. We're going to do something a little bit different today. All right, we'll do something a little bit different today. Usually you guys see my business partner and co-founder of the True Trading Group, Adam. Usually you see he comes on these live streams with me sometimes, and he asks me questions. He asks me questions, and this time I'm going to have a chance to ask him questions, and I want to be able to interview him. We had a couple of discussions today inside of our chat, kind of about, starting a business and running True Trading Group. Like, for those that don't know, like, Adam runs the business part of True Trading Group. I control all the trading part of True Trading Group. I'm the person you see on these lives and goes over, the market commentary and the trade analysis and answers the questions. But there's a whole business side of this with thousands of members from over 100 different countries and 30 employees. And Adam is the one that kind of has a handle and a grasp on all of those things. He's not a trader. Okay, he's not a trader. He does kind of have his ear to the ground on crypto. He is very good at understanding the flows of crypto and the sentiment around crypto, with timing some pretty good market bottoms and market tops throughout the last couple of years, specifically when it comes to Bitcoin. So he does have his ear to the ground for our crypto enthusiasts out there, but he's not a trader. but he is someone that's been able to successfully build not one, not two, but three multi-million-dollar businesses from a laptop. And I think it's a nice time for us, since it was a slower day in the markets. I think it would be really cool for, instead of him interviewing me interviewing him. So everybody give a big warm ayo to Adam.
How's it going, Michael?
Oh, hello, Adam. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine.
But can
I'm
you
sure,
type the number 1 if you can hear me?
I'm sure everybody can hear you.
No, I meant you specifically. You type the number 1.
So there you guys have it. All right, man. Well, this is going to be a little bit different. I'm excited to do this, actually, because you always get to drill me with a bunch of these tough questions. And, it's like when we had this discussion in chat today, I feel like this would be kind of a cool opportunity for me to kind of switch the tables, turn the tables a little bit on you. And I've got some questions that I want to ask you, but I think it might be best, before I get into like a lot of these questions, just for people that may not be familiar with your background or your story or anything, was just kind of, if you can give us just a little bit about like how you got started as an entrepreneur, because I know you kind of, have been doing this since you were a kid and started out, just with a laptop, and how did you kind of give us your story of kind of how you got started from everything you went through with high school, graduating high school, and then becoming an entrepreneur to where you are now, so people kind of understand the journey that you've gone on. Just a summary so people understand kind of your process.
Sure. So, I, high school is kind of a blur. 39. And even if I wasn't on drugs at that time, it might still be a blur because I'm 39. No, but I, look, I want to preface this. And I said this earlier today, man. I am proud of the things that I've been able to accomplish, but I don't look at it as any better or any, or I don't look at it as crazy unique to just me. There's a lot of things that I went through that people go through every single day. And some people are more fortunate than others that they get through it and they get to do what they need to do. And some are not so fortunate, but everybody's got their stuff, right? Everybody's got their stuff. I don't know anybody that has gone through life completely unscathed, right? It just doesn't exist. So I preface that because when I start talking about this stuff, I don't want to come off like somehow my story is chronically unique, and then somebody else's story may not be as bad because of because that's not the case, right? Everyone's got their own crap. So, life didn't start out bad, I had both parents for a little bit, and, we weren't, and we had a good life, and we had things that we needed, roof over our head for a while, and everything was good. And then, right around, I was like 11 or 12. And, my mom went ahead and took off, and then that was really tough. And, from that point, I went ahead and, I don't know how I graduated high school, because from that moment till 6 months after my 21st birthday, I did nothing but use alcohol and drugs, and really just didn't put forth effort into anything. I said this earlier, man, like if life was fair, I would be dead. And that's the God's honest truth. I really do believe that. And 6 months after my 21st birthday, I ended up getting clean, because I was at a point in my life where I was, all of my friends and everyone that I cared about had like moved on with their life.
Right.
I was still stuck. I had, at this point, we were for many, many years prior to even that point, we were really, really, my family was not well off. We were really, really poor. I remember my brother, I don't know if both my brothers are in this live chat right now. I know one of them is, or he better be, because he works for us. But but I'll never forget, man. Like my dad was a Brett. Yeah, my dad was a single dad, and he took me and my three siblings in. I'm the oldest of four, and we were all in a 1-bedroom apartment, and we had to alternate who got the couch and the bed and who slept on the floor what nights. Like buying discounted bologna from Winn-Dixie. Just real but again, a lot of people have gone through stuff like this, right? I'm not unique. So, it was really hard. And I go ahead and, I start using drugs, alcohol, whatever. Fast forward, I end up getting clean when I'm 21 years old. And I got to a point in my life, everything had moved on. I was stuck and I wanted to die, but I was too scared to kill myself. But if it happened, it wouldn't have been the end of the world for me. And I just got to this point, and I don't know how I got there or why I got there or anything, where I decided that I didn't want to live like that anymore. And I ended up going to Narcotics Anonymous, and I ended up getting clean. My clean date is August 5th, 2005. And my clean date has remained the same since I went. So
I'm so proud of you, bro.
Yeah, man. In August of this year, it will be 18 years clean. Still go to meetings. Still have a sponsor. Still work steps. I sponsor other men, and I do what I got to do to stay clean, and I do what I got to do to live a life as a productive member of society, and to really, and to really participate in my own life, because that's what was missing. And about a year and a half, like 6-9 months into getting clean, I thought to myself, well, and this is anyone is in here that goes to AA or NA, they'll understand this right away. But, you get clean, and the first thing everyone wants to do is become a psychologist, right? Everyone wants to help everyone else and tell everyone what their problems are. So I went and I went back to school. I started going to community college because I'm going to get my life right. And of course, you got to go back to school to get your life right. That's a thing you got to do in order to get that done. And I hated it. I hated school. I really was not. It was really hard for me to sit there and be put into a mold of what I was supposed to learn and how these things were supposed to work, and being told what to do. And I had a real problem, with it. And then also I started to do some volunteer work as running groups and sessions for drug addicted teens and kids. And that was really, really tough. And I did that once a week for 2 years. And every time that I would come home from one of those things, in order to be a good psychologist, you have to be able to leave the really traumatic stuff there, come home and not deal with it. And I just wasn't cut out for that. I was not able to leave it there. And then I started thinking, well, what do I really want to do? I had gotten to a point in my life where I started thinking, well, what do I really want to do? What's next? Okay, you got clean. You figured out school isn't for you, which was really big, because even though I didn't grow up fancy, I still grew up somewhat Jewish, and school was a big thing if you're not going to be a doctor or a lawyer, and or an accountant. And I was like, well, what are you going to do? And my brother at the time, Brett, who's on here, was going to a private school. He had a basketball scholarship, right, to this private school. And they had just introduced web design books and web design classes into the libraries at these schools. And he had this old laptop. So I would use his old laptop. I downloaded pirated versions of Adobe Photoshop and Dreamweaver. Sorry, Adobe, if you're watching. I pay for it all now, though. And I really taught myself with his help. He would steal books from his library and bring them home for me. And I locked myself in a room for like a year or 2 years, and I fell in love with, design and marketing and web design and creating stuff. And really what it was for me was the idea that you could take something, a thought of something, and just do it, not have to worry about, well, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, what if this doesn't work out, what if that doesn't work out. I don't know why I didn't have those thoughts at the time, right? But
Right.
but I guess I was more in love with the idea of what I was building and creating. Um, Seriously? That's fucked up. I was more in love with the idea of what I was creating than worrying about if it would fail. And at the beginning, a lot of it failed. I had all sorts of ideas that didn't work out at the beginning, but I had this idea for a company called Entourage Group, and it was this online marketing company, web design company, and it was like all encompassing, right? So like social media marketing, email marketing, web design. At that time, you couldn't get all of those services, in one bundle. It was all a la carte. You needed a web designer, you needed an SEO guy, you needed an email marketer. Like you couldn't get it all in one place. And I thought that it would be really neat if there was some sort of like agency out there where you could. Do you want me to read that? Why do you keep looking down and smiling?
Oh no, nothing. No, I'm not. No.
All right.
I'm fucking a joke.
Nice. And I thought it would be really cool to offer that, and I did. And I'm not going to say that. I know it's good, but I'm not going to say it's not true. Mike wants me to say it's not true. I'm going to preface it with it's not true. But now people understand why we give free laptops. It's symbolism. You changed your life with a laptop. Now people change theirs with TTG. It's a nice thought. It's also not true.
It's not true, guys. There's like
Not
a
true.
joke. Me and you were joking about it behind the scenes.
Yeah. So, you guys are sick.
It's so good because it's so good because you literally.
Yeah, but it's not.
You decided there was a moment in your life you decided that.
Yeah, it'd make a good story, but it's not.
It's not true, right? It's not the truth.
No, we give free laptops because we can't give out one-on-ones all the time.
Yeah.
That's why we, anyways, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I started this web design company called Entourage Group, and this was right at 2008, during the biggest, during the global financial crisis. I had no idea what was going on because for me, I had just started Entourage Group after spending 2.5 years locked myself in a room and taught myself web design, online marketing, SEO, and all these things. And I was pretty damn good at it when I came out of that room. And while I was learning it, in order to support myself, I was working construction. I was building pool screen enclosures. I was laying tile. I was doing every odd and end job. I was running permits to different counties for construction companies. Was doing anything I had to do so that I could afford myself the time to be able to lock myself in a room and learn this thing. Not because I wanted to make a bunch of money with it, but because I loved it. And and Entourage Group ended up doing really well, like really, really well. Entourage Group ended up doing, I started that company out of my dad's living room. We had a duplex, maybe 1,100 square feet at the time. So we graduated from a 1-bedroom apartment, and in the living room, I went ahead and I started this. This company on this laptop. I had no idea what I was doing and business wise, and I caught some really big breaks. And a lot of it was me being persistent and just kind of showing up and not saying no to anything. Somebody wanted something figured out, I'm going to figure it out. I don't care if I have to stay up all night and figure it out, I'm going to figure it out. somebody needed this and they were going to be charged $10,000 or $20,000 for it over here. I'll do it for half the price. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to guarantee the work. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out. You know, I always answered the phone. I always was personable. I always did. And the business really grew. And within, what was it, 2008, 2009, 2010. And so from 2008 to 2010, that company ended up netting something like, I don't know, like just in those 2 years, like almost 10 million bucks, something right around there. Starting in 2008 during like the financial crisis. And I'm sorry, grossing around that amount, not netting, grossing around that amount. I mean, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. You know, starting that company was how I learned how to do online advertising as well. I literally had clients that were like, hey, we want to run some online ads. I'm like, great, I've never done it before, but I'll figure it out. And they're like, great, here's my black card. Spend $25,000 a day for the next week.
What?
You know, I mean, literally just like that. And I did, and that's how I learned. You know, I was really fortunate to be able to learn how to do that, and I became damn good at it. I've spent, oh my gosh, I mean, I have to have spent over $50 million, $60 million worth of online marketing since 2008, 2009. Had to have. I got to go back and look at it, but it's a lot of money that I've spent managing campaigns like that online, and successfully too. So yeah, so then that business evolved into the next business, which was investor relations or penny stock promotion. And, you know, that was kind of crazy because I would charge $3,000 for a website, right? When I was with Entourage Group, $3,000 for a website, $5,000 if it's an e-commerce site, $7,500 if it was a real estate site, right? And all of a sudden I met these guys that were like, hey, we'll give you $3,000 a week just to generate email addresses, just to drive leads to a landing page. I mean, I was doing this anyways for dental offices, for real estate companies. I was the head of PR and marketing for Bob Marley's family. I was head of online luxury packages and floor seating for the Miami Heat. I had worked with a lot of high-end clothing companies and wholesalers. So for me, I was like, what's the catch here? You know, like there's got to be, you know, but I was already generating leads for them, just not getting paid that kind of money for it. And I started to get involved there, and we started the investor relations and penny stock promotion business, and that business was good for a little while. It was good for a little while. Turned out to be a really shady business, and you know, and it is what it is. You know, it's not, you know, it's something I've been out of for a while now. But when I first started that business, from the time I started it, so figure 2011 to 2017. I mean, that business grossed, I mean, 40, 50 million bucks, probably, between everything. And, you know, it was absolutely insane. Now, and I guess I'll let you ask me questions about that business and that stuff, Mike, but, you know, and I'm sure Michael asked, but you know, I wanted to get out of that business, and I did get out of that business. And then we started True, you know, we had, in 2014 was the original idea for True Trading Group. And we launched it in 2016, end of 2016, beginning of 2017. And to date, True Trading Group, you know, has grossed just over 30 million bucks since 2017 and continues to grow year over year. We have a 78% retention rate. We have a 2.83% refund rate. I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever been a part of. And it's the first time in my entire life that I'm making money on a product and a service that I created, that it was mine. I'm not making money for somebody else, for some client. I'm putting my own product out there. Mike's putting his own product out there, and it's working for people, and that's why it's selling. And that's been a huge gift. So that's I could go on for a long time, but that's what it is. So go ahead, ask your.
It's incredible, man. It's I mean, that's why a lot of people are not familiar with like the story and the entire journey. I think it's why it was important for you to kind of give people kind of the lay of the land so they understand, where you started from and then where you are now and all the steps that were taken in between. And I think because for me, like I always go back and relate to, for me with like my trading and everything, having mentors was a huge part of my development as a trader, whether it was like my boss at the fund that I was working at, or like just the other traders that I would sit around and being able to really, latch onto them and like ask questions and have people that have kind of guided me through. And I think that was such a big part for me. I think it's a big part for like all of our members. So like my question is like, when you were going through like your development and I know you locked yourself in a room, you learned a bunch of skills like on your own, but like, was there a point where you had like a mentor or someone that you looked up to, someone that you were like, hey, I have a question. This is the person I'm going to go to. And if so, like, how important do you think that is for people that are not just trading, but if someone just like wants to start their own business or anything like that, to have someone that they can really go to like as a mentor?
That's a tough that's a tough question to answer for a couple of reasons. Business wise, at the time, it was twofold. It was my grandfather at the time, not like a mentor, but somebody that I really looked up to because he wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect and sure, he had ups and downs, but he always seemed to just kind of pull something out of nothing and start some sort of the next business, the next thing. And he always kind of landed on his feet. And I just always saw that like hustle. And I was always like it was always something I could relate to. And then I just saw my dad get the crap kicked out of him for so many years, man. Having to raise 4 kids on his own, not having very good money, having a hard time with work, and just getting up every single day and doing what he's got to do. And then his mom, that came here, she fled the Holocaust, and she came here. She came to New York City, and she worked for another baker. Or she worked for a baker, and she ended up saving enough money to open her own bakery, and she took all that other baker's recipes. But more power to her, man. She killed it. We had that bakery for 30 years, and she was super successful as an immigrant that barely spoke English. And my great grandmother, who practically raised us when my mom took off, and because my grandmother had my grandmother had passed away when I was young. That woman just showed up no matter what, man. Just no matter what, just showed up. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's trading, work, man, showing up takes care of 50% of everything. Yeah. I don't care what it is that you're doing. Showing up covers 50% of everything that you're doing. So did I have a direct mentor, so to speak? Not till later. Who do I look to now as a mentor? There's a gentleman by the name of Dwayne Brannon, who has put me through the absolute ringer over the years.
Yeah, yes.
But I love that man, and I do. He's a lot older than I am. I hope he watches this so he hears me call him old. Um, but I love that man, and he, you know, he has been a big man, but that was later. You know, I had already, you know, he has and continues to be a mentor for me in business. You know, he's very successful. You know, he's worth a lot of money. He took Lionsgate Films public. He's worked with many public companies, high-end public companies. You know, just a really solid guy. So, yeah, I think it's extremely important to have people that you can look up to. Look, water seeks its own level. When you make a decision to do something and you want to try and become successful, or you want to try and whatever you're doing, if you surround yourself with people that aren't already there, or you can't see how it's going to happen, you're going to have a really hard time getting where you need to go. So for me, yeah, mentorship is extremely important, but having people, you know, surrounding yourself with people that are all, you know, that you don't, I mean, I learned this very early on. You don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room. The second you're the smartest person in the room, you're in trouble. Right? So there you
go. Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, what I take from that, you know, from what you said, it's like, not even if it's like someone that's a direct mentor for you, like business wise, but just to have like having like a support system. Like you had people that were there for you, like your grandfather was there for you. Like if you ever, you know, not even just for like business support, but emotional support. And just to have a cheerleader, to have someone reassuring you that you can do this. And like you weren't just out there like in a dark hole by yourself. I think it's very important for people that have those type of things, because especially, and I always relate it back to trading. You know, trading can be a very lonely profession. I think it's very important to have like a support group and a support staff there that you can like help you through the ups and the downs, you know, and it sounds like you had that too. And that was a big part of you, you know, being able to achieve everything that you did. What would you say are some of like the characteristics and some of the traits that somebody needs to have in order to become like a good entrepreneur? Because I always think like, you know, when it goes back to the trading side of stuff, there's specific personality characteristics, or like the way that people think that would benefit you as a trader or would hurt you as a trader. And I'm just wondering if there's anything that stands out to you for like personality traits or like a specific thought process that you think would help somebody that is trying to become an entrepreneur or exceed in building something from scratch.
I think self honesty is probably the biggest characteristic that you can have.
That's a good one, man.
It's not about being honest with you, right? It's not about being honest with the people that are on the stream right now. It's about being honest with yourself. You know, I was taught very early on, I could lie to everyone else. The second I start lying to myself, I'm in trouble, right? It's very important that I know what my truth is. As long as I know what my truth is, I'm going to be able to do what it is that I need to do to move forward, right? So, for example, if I love the sport of UFC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Freaking love it. I want to change my life. I'm going to get involved. I'm going to train to be a UFC fighter. Okay. Well, I'm 30 pounds overweight. I'm 39 years old. I have no prior fighting experience. And as much as I love the sport, and as much as I love watching it, and I advocate for fighters, and I have friends of mine that are in it and everything else, as much as all that is, the real truth is I'm probably not going to be champion of the UFC. That ship has probably sailed. You know, if I could love space and look up at the stars and like, oh my God, I'm going to go to NASA. Like, probably not. There's probably like a math requirement to get in there, you know? And I dropped out of community college. So, you know, like you have to, there is a level of self-honesty that you have to know, right? And that can be look, nobody wants to admit to themselves they can't do something, right? Nobody wants to admit to themselves that they can't do something. Everyone has been taught from the very beginning, oh, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And if you can, all you need is perseverance and you could do it. Well, actually, you can't. And unfortunately, or fortunately, that's the truth. And there's a sense of like freedom and power in knowing what your truth is, so that then you can make real moves. So while I can't be a UFC fighter, maybe I can form my own agency for UFC fighters. Maybe I can advocate and start to do something to get them paid more. Maybe I can create my own organization called Atom UFC or whatever and host my own events. There's a, once you can accept your truth and not keep trying to be delusional with some movie in your head or something, you have a lot of options. Very seldom in my career have I had a thought, I had an idea, and the end product was exactly that thought or idea. Right? You got to be flexible. You have to know what your truth is.
I think that's too, like, also like something really important, like from an entrepreneur standpoint, is like you said, like being honest with yourself and knowing what you can and cannot do, and knowing what you are good at and what you're not. Because what I've realized, on the side of entrepreneurship is like, you're only as good as a team that you also put around you when it comes to growth and when it comes to scale and being able to have people that have skill sets that you may not. Like if you take a look, like you and I, for example, like we're able to be so successful as you are because I can do things that you can, and you can do things that I can't. And without the other, those other things can't happen. Like like knowing what you can do and what you can't do. There's things like the things that you do, I would never even try to even attempt. It's like, those are all parts of growing a business and growing a team around you. And that self honesty, I think, was a good one. My next question to you is difficult. This is going to be a tough one.
Okay.
What's your biggest mistake? Told you it was going to be a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Your biggest mistake that if you could go back and do it all over again, this is one thing that you would have changed. And if that is your biggest mistake, what did you learn from it?
Not telling Kyle up front that I was going to give you 50% of the company.
Whew.
I wouldn't have changed my decision, but I wouldn't have hit it either.
Give us some back. A lot of people don't know who Kyle is. Give us some.
Yeah. So my first business partner ever was a guy named Kyle, right? And he and I were very, very close. This was before Mike and I started working together, and Mike worked at it was T3 Alpha Fund. That became what do they come T3 Live, which is a prop shop now.
Yeah. Well, T3 Capital, T3 Live is like the media arm.
Yeah, but they changed, and that's why you left.
Yeah.
So then Mike, and correct me if I'm wrong, but then Mike went to work for a couple of friends of his that owned a IR penny stock promotion firm. Mike was in charge of hiring all the media for this firm. Roughly, right? You would hire the newsletters, so to speak. So I was just starting out. I was nobody. Kyle was nobody. The guys that Mike were working for were bigger guys in that business. And I remember Kyle would hit Mike up for work all the time for like a year plus, would just grind the phone and try and get him to hire us to try us out. And Mike kept shooting us down. And he didn't know us. So,
Yeah, I didn't know.
So turns out in that industry, like I said, people want data. So I was tired of asking Kyle, are we getting paid this week? Are we getting paid this week? Because Kyle would get the business and I would execute the business. So I made a decision that I was going to create a Trojan horse where I was going to create this business called iTrader Leads. And instead of asking people to hire our newsletter, I was going to contact all the big companies at the time and tell them that I could get them email addresses and data super cheap, which I could, and I did a good job at it. And as a result of that, I became close with Mike because his company was like spending the most amount of money getting our data. Mike had no idea that my partner was Kyle, and we had a newsletter over here anyways. And then Mike and his other partners or the other people that he worked with were like, "Hey, Adam, you should really create your own newsletter." I'm like, "Nah, you think so? Maybe, I don't know." And I eventually did create that newsletter. Then I was like, "Hey," and then they found out that Kyle was my partner or whatever. Fast forward, the two guys that owned the company that Mike was working at, they got in big trouble with the DOJ and the SEC, and that company had to close down. And I'll never forget it because Mike and I are sitting there, and I'm like, "What are you going to do?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "I've already been trading full time while I've been doing this job." He's like, "I'm just going to go do the trading full time again." He's like, "I don't care." And he's just like, "Why? What are you going to do?" And I was like, "I'm going to keep going. I'm going to start my own IR firm." And then he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "That sounds great." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right." And this was many, many years ago. And Kyle and I were already partners. And I'll never forget, man. We bought a website called marijuanastocks.com. And this is where things really accelerated for me and for Mike. We were already doing well. We were making a couple $1,000,000 a year in the business, but this was 2014. And all these marijuana companies, these marijuana stocks came out of the woodwork. And I tracked down the owner of marijuanastocks.com. I don't know his name. He just called himself Roots. This is a true story. I still to this day do not know this man's name. Right? So what ends up happening is I didn't have the 75,000 at the time because the company was doing well, but we had to spend a lot of that money in order to keep it going. So I didn't have the full 75. The guy wanted $75,000 for the domain, an existing website, and all the social media that came with it. And I was like, damn, what do I, so at the time, Mike had, I guess he had like a good amount of money in a trading account or something. I forget what it was. And I said to Mike, I was like, "Listen, we just started together, but I'm going to ask." And at this time, Mike and I were not millionaires. Okay. Not even close. And I said to Mike, I was like,
2014.
Yeah. 2013? Yeah. I was like, "Mike, I'm going to make you a deal. You're going to put up 75 grand. I'm going to pay it back, or the business will pay it back to you. And I am going to make us millions of dollars." And from 2014 to 2017, that 75,000 turned into 10 million bucks. And Mike and I at that point did become multimillionaires, along with Jason Spadafora. That website and that kind of changed a lot, changed everything. And we were able to really ride that success out for a bit. So, what ends up happening is I asked Kyle if he wanted to. How did we meet Jason? we were on a golf course somewhere. I don't even play golf. I just hang out with Mike while he plays golf because I like to drive the golf course. Or I like to drive the golf cart because I'm like a child. And yeah, so we were on a golf course, and one of our friends was like, "Hey, have you heard of the Wolf of Weed Street? Because he could do one tweet, and a stock will trade millions of dollars worth of volume." And our business at that time, it's like it was this unwritten rule, right? That if they pay you $1, you got to generate $10 worth of volume. So I was like, and they don't care if you spend the whole budget or not. So if Wolf could put out a tweet and it could generate all this volume, that means we could keep all of the budget, right? So we had a meeting with Wolf. I was able to get a meeting with him. And if you guys think that he is arrogant or conceited right now, you have no idea what that was like then. It was terrible. But eventually what we did is we ended up partnering up with him as well. And the guy's one of our closest friends today. So, so fast forward, Kyle didn't want to invest in marijuana stocks. He said that I was buying it out of ego. He didn't want any part of it. He wanted to keep his head down and not really make a big deal about, he was happy doing what we were doing. And we went to Vegas because we'd go to Vegas, Mike, myself, Kyle, once a year to meet up in person. And Kyle pulled me aside and said that he was done, that he had made the money that he needed to make and that he didn't want to go forward anymore. And that he was going to give me his 50% of the company on the condition that I do not give it to Mike for free. And I was really hurt, and I was like kind of taken back that Kyle was doing that because it was very out of left field. And I told him that I wouldn't. I went downstairs, met up with Mike, and I gave him Kyle's 50% for free. I would have done that different. That's all right. You live and you learn. Yeah. Again, I don't regret the decision. It's the best decision I ever made. The way I went about it. That's what I regret. I regret the way I went about it.
Very, very, very interesting. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We've been through a lot, man. We've been through a lot. Oh, man. And now here we are with True Trading Group. Mm-hmm. Fast forward all these years later. And I think people when it comes to True Trading Group, I know we always try to explain it to people on live streams. Like it's not just a Discord. It's not just a chat room. I'm not just a trading messiah. I'm going to bless you all with my 100% success rate of trade alerts.
No, man, we literally look, penny stock promotion business is a terrible business. It is a complete scam-oriented business. So we saw every which way the retail trader had been completely screwed out of their money.
Yep.
Every which way. And we literally built the exact opposite.
Yep. Exactly.
I'll tell you this. There comes and I'll close off with this. There comes a time in your professional career where you start making money. And for me, that was at the beginning when I started to make like $3,000 a week, because at that time it might as well have been $3 million a week. $3,000 in 1 week was so unfathomable to me at the time that it was insane. And it's easy to want to sit there and justify what it is that you're doing. Because at first, I didn't really understand what I was doing. I would generate email addresses. People would send out on we would send out on email newsletters and other things. People would buy it, other people would sell it. Everyone could be a win-win, right? And for a little while it was, until it wasn't.
Yep.
And I'll never forget this as long as I live, dude. Couple of things. Nobody that is successful operates their entire career unscathed either. And what we found, or what I found, there were two profound moments in my life that fundamentally changed me as a human being. The first one was in end of 2015, or right at the beginning of I forget when it was, right between 2014 and 2015, right? The penny stock promotion business started to go south, meaning it was harder for these guys that would pay you to deposit stock. So when they did get it deposited, they had to dump it right away, leaving less time for retail traders to have a chance to make money. And I'll never forget, I got a message on Facebook from somebody that was on our list. And this person said to me, I'm a single dad. I went in too heavy on this trade. What happens now? And it was the first time, I'm telling you, it was the first time where I got a glimpse of, this is fucked up. Because before that, it was like, oh, it's their choice if they want to buy. Everything I'm doing is legal, which it was. But it was the first time I got a glimpse into, this is fucked up. And I knew at that moment that this isn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, that this was a means to an end, that I needed to begin the plan to pivot out of that. And that was True Trading Group, ultimately. Because I wanted to make sure that I could end up doing something for a living that helped somebody like that, instead of hurting them. So that was a big, profound change in my life. And it was not an overnight thing. It took a couple years to pivot out and to grow and to put enough money aside to transition. But I did it. But I did do it, which is more than I can say for a lot of other people, man. And like anything else, you stay in that kind of industry long enough, even if the money is great, nobody leaves unscathed.
Right.
And like I said, we had a tremendous amount of pressure on us at the time, because we would take in, like I said, for every dollar that you get paid, there was this crazy expectation that you had to generate $10 worth of liquidity. So that's buying and selling stocks that were illiquid. These are garbage penny stocks. Sub penny, 10 cents, just trash OTC companies. So, we had this attorney at the time, and we spoke to this attorney, and we said, we had this great idea. That that if, because when you're doing that type of marketing and promotion, if Mike has an E-Trade account and I have an E-Trade account, we cannot trade back and forth to one another. That's wash trading. It's illegal. Black and white. But, okay, well, I'm ready to start it. Thanks, though. This is nothing we haven't said on YouTube before, so it's fine. Bottom line is, we got some really bad legal advice where we were told that if we scalped, that it was okay. And it ended up not being okay, even though we had opinion letters from attorneys. And I shared this with you because what happened is that I found myself you know, I had never had a real home growing up. And in 2016, I was able to purchase my first home from this industry. In end of 2017, I was able to purchase my dream home. And the day that I was going to close to move into that house, I found out that the SEC, the SEC and the DOJ were interested in what it is that we were doing because, nobody had ever seen anything like it. They thought that we were involved with people that we weren't. Turns out, obviously, we were not. But I was literally told that that their intention was to indict me and put me in prison. And I was like, well, can you maybe tell us what for? And I'll never forget, I was moving into this house. I had cars in the driveway. I had some money in the bank. I had a business. I had employees. I was clean. I had my family. And I was putting together a Barbie dream house in my daughter's room, and I wanted to kill myself. And yeah. And I had realized at that point, and obviously I didn't, thank God, and I spoke to people and whatever, but you want to see what type of a you want to see what type of a person somebody is, right? You get a choice. If you're fortunate enough, you get a choice. My choice was take a shortcut out, disappear, or for 2 months, I got up every day at 4:30 in the morning, took a shower, had a bag packed by the door, and I waited till 7 o'clock. And if nobody came, I went to work and I built out True Trading Group. And that's what I did. And I made sure that the employees were taken care of. I made sure the members were taken care of. I made sure everybody was taken care of. And I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, and I just kept showing up. And eventually, it's a wonderful thing that happens if you know your truth, and I'll circle back with this. If you know your truth, it's a wonderful thing that happens. You could have everyone telling you, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you know that you're not wrong, if you know that your side of the street is clean, then it's just a matter of time before the truth sets you free. So that's why you put one foot in front of the other and you keep showing up. And ultimately, the DOJ apologized.
Yep.
And not only apologized, they offered our company a government contract to help them identify cyber fraud, which we turned down because
Yeah.
And the SEC later came back and said, hey, we hate to do this to you. We know that you didn't do anything with malicious intent. We know that there was no scam. We know that nobody got screwed over, but this act was done, and you have to be fined for it. But no litigation, no going to court, no ban, no bar, no restrictions. You can do whatever you want. But Mike and I had to pay a $1.25 million fine, having nothing to do with True Trading Group. And you know what? We did that last year. It wasn't from last year. It was from many, many, many years ago. But we paid it. and we had a live stream, and we told everyone that we did. If you go to our description in the video, it's actually in every description of our video. It's called The Statement. There's a link. Click the link, and you can watch the statement that we made about it. Then none of this stuff is easy. And what I wanted to say is that I made the decision then that whatever I did going forward, it had to have a certain level of integrity with it, or else it wasn't worth like your spirit, not to sound corny or something, but like, just wasn't worth it. And that every single time Mike and I have bet on ourselves and put our best foot forward, things have worked out better than any other time that we thought we had to do something else. So entrepreneurship, making money. Yeah. Today, Mike and I are multi-millionaires. Our futures are secure. Our families are secure. We don't have to look over our shoulder for nothing. We work with thousands and thousands of people that we genuinely give a shit about and try and help on a daily basis. We run a good business. Life is pretty amazing. But let me tell you something. There's no such thing as like a clean, 100% clean path. Point A to point B always has a little bit of bumps. If you're on here and you guys are watching this, if you want to become successful, if you want to tell your boss to screw, if you want to make $1 million, there's a lot that goes with that.
I thought you froze for a second.
No, I mean, you try and really convey it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like really convey what that is. The fact that I don't have to go to my kid's school and say, hey, yeah, I showed up in a nice car, but I got that nice car from promoting penny stocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to do that. I get to go to my daughter's school and they're like, well, what, for career day or something, like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, well, actually, I have this business that actually helps thousands and thousands of people make money and avoid being screwed over. That's what I do for a living. It's such a fucking gift, dude, because it doesn't have to be like that.
Yep.
Does not have to be like that. I don't have to do what I do, man. I get to do what I do. There's a big difference between, I have to do this. I have to. No. I make a choice and I get to do what I get to do. And I'm grateful for that. And if you're grateful for what it is that you get to do, not have to do, it'll always come from the right place.
I love it, man. Where do you what's the goal for True Trading Group? What do you see us in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years?
So True Trading Group was always the concept, right? True Trading Group was always the testing ground, the proof of concept. Mission accomplished. Next up, what we're looking to do is we want to create a bigger, we're creating a bigger publishing company. And we want to venture off into other areas where people are taking advantage of, where people aren't getting the value for what it is that they're paid, in other areas where people can be helped. So for example, entrepreneurship. Right now, I'm building out something called TTG Mastermind that I am leading. And it is all about helping people start their own businesses, empowering one another, networking, being able to step out on their own 2 feet. Eventually, we'll have something for real estate. Eventually, we'll have something for parenting, for health and fitness. Obviously, I'm not going to do the health and fitness one. Okay. But the idea is that we want to have the TTG Holdings Company, and that'll be True Trading Group, TTG Mastermind, TTG Real Estate, TTG Health and Fit, and each one has its own identity, its own brand, and you create this big company that's all founded on the same principles as what True Trading Group was founded upon. The core of everything is included for one price. You actually have to interact and give a shit about the people that are giving you money, that are trusting you enough to put up their hard-earned money.
Yep.
So, and I get it. I have a reputation in True Trading Group of being a big asshole, and honestly, sometimes I am. Yeah, no, sometimes I am. But I genuinely give a shit about people's success because I've seen a lot of people fail, a lot of good people, and I don't want to be part of that problem.
Yeah.
I want to do something different about it. So I'm also not a saint. This is also not a charity. I want to make money too, right? Like I have some pretty big ambitions. I don't necessarily want to buy a jet like Meet Schmevin, but I'd like to, build something very, very big that I could pass to my family, that Mike can pass to his family, that'll outlive what it is that we're doing, like a real legacy for something based on something good, not just money. So, although money's awesome too, so I do like money, but it is a tool. It's not everything. It's definitely not a defining personality trait. Should not be. So that's it. That's all I got.
Awesome, man. Well, I think that's a great place to leave it. Right. This was a really awesome discussion, and you guys got to, hear from Adam instead of always, hearing from me, and I'm the one answering all the questions. And, it's now you guys got a better feel for the business side of things. And, for all of our entrepreneurs out there, those that are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, Adam is running TTG Mastermind, which is, just has already become something that's awesome and will continue to be. And that's phase 2. We have True Trading Group, where I'm leading all the trading aspects of everything. And now you have TTG Mastermind, which will be more of the entrepreneurship role. And then as we continue to grow this company and expand to TTG Real Estate and TTG Health and Fitness and TTG Parenting, et cetera, and continue to build out this platform so that people have a real place to go to truly learn the skills that they need to be successful in the areas that they wish.
Yep.
Instead of being endlessly taken advantage of by a bunch of, get rich quick type of nonsense, or, shortcuts and trying to cut corners and always falling up short and always being disappointed, never getting any value or any learning or any developing of any real skill that can actually help you. Instead, you just kind of run around the ringer a bunch of times until you just eventually give up. We want to create platforms for people where they can actually become successful in the things that they wish. It starts here, but we're just this is just the beginning. And for those who are a part of True Trading Group, this is the company, these are the people that you are becoming a part of. And this is the mission that we have and that you would be getting on board with. So everyone that's a part of True Trading Group already, we have members in over 100 different countries. But this is just the beginning.
Honestly, True Trading Group has turned into something that I don't think Mike and or myself could have ever like, we knew we wanted a lot of members. Obviously, you want your business to do well. We didn't know, we didn't have the first clue of what that actually looked like or how that would impact them or us. And there are a lot of days where Mike and I, like, you know, we'll end on like a really long week, and we'll just kind of say to each other, like, man, look what we built. You know, look what our team has built. Look what our members have built.
Yeah, man.
Because all we do is provide the environment, the tools, the education. But you guys do the work. You guys show up day after day after day. You guys put in the work. You guys study. You guys go through the losses and then, you know, have to figure it out. I mean, you guys do all of that. This is not just because of Mike and myself. This is the mods. This is Mike. This is me. This is all of our members. It's all of our support staff. It takes a village, man. This is something really, really special. This company that we are building will be very, very big, and hopefully will reach a lot of people. So,
Amen. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming on and sharing your story and answering all those questions. I think it's something that a lot of people, you know, really could relate to. And I think was helpful for a lot of people. And we do this more often.
yeah, maybe a little bit more notice, but sure.
Yeah, maybe I'll give you a heads up next time. But cool, man. Good stuff. Well, in the meantime, guys, if you guys, you know, want to get on board and you want to join True Trading Group and look for, you know, to build a skill that is involved around the stock market and around, you know, generating some extra income by either active day trading or swing trading, but also just learning overall some long-term portfolio stuff and understanding the markets better so you can make some better decisions. We do have our President's Day sale that is running here this weekend. It's available for the next 40 people that join before midnight on Monday, before the price of membership continues to go up. Like promised, the membership has gone up over the last couple of days. It will continue to. I do not have any laptops for people, but we do offer it for you guys a ridiculous $920 price point. The price is normally over $2,000. You guys can go to ttgoffer.com, enter the coupon code TTG121, click apply code. It drops down. The price drops down to $920. It comes with a free one-on-one mentor session with one of our pro traders and a double your money back guarantee. So if you are unable to make the $920 back at least once after going through our courses, our quizzes, and attending a study group, we'll give you guys back $1,840. That's the deal. That's the commitment that we will make to you when you commit to True Trading Group. So let me show you what the platform actually looks like so you guys can see for yourself everything you'll have access to for the $920, because it's all of our courses and it's all of our tools. Now, if you're not interested in the membership at all, you guys can sign up the live stream. We're done with the interview and the questions and the analysis. So you guys can just subscribe to the channel, but make sure you turn on your notifications because we're going to go live on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So you guys can tune in. I'll give you my outlook for next week. But if you are interested, let me show you what your $920 will get you for the entire year. Of course, our chat room. The chat room's where the mods and I share our screen. We're live on the mic. We're calling out trades in real time, answering questions, right? And you can also use the mobile app. The mobile app will let you see the screen share, listen to the audio commentary, but also get real-time push notifications whenever our moderators enter or exit trades. That's how so many of our members are able to benefit from the TG platform while working full-time jobs. We're with you from pre-market all the way through until after hours. You also get 2 study groups so that you can go through and talk to our mods and help speed up your learning curve. You got Benzinga Pro's real-time news feed, live up to the second news alerts, congressional trade data, You can track the trades that Congress members and their family members are making. You get TradingView's premium charting software. That's about $600 a year. That's included with your $920. The Benzinga data is like $1,400 a year. That's included for your $920. You get the Trade Idea scanner. That's another few $100. That's included with your $920 membership. The Trade Idea scanner is the industry standard scanner. You guys have access to it on our platform. The ETNA simulator, that lets you trade stocks and options with fake money, but with real-time data. You guys can have access to that as well. If you go to ETNA directly, it's just under $1,000 for the year. It's included with your membership to TTG. You get our own proprietary scanner that lets you create custom scans. You get dark pool data, unusual options activity, options flow. All of that's included with your membership. A trading journal will track your trades and give you statistics. That's included. A social sentiment scanner, so you know what ticker symbols people are mentioning most on social media. Analyst ratings, you can see if there's how many buy, sell, or hold ratings are on any particular stock. If there's been insider buying or insider selling. Every day, the mods and I give you a watch list, the stocks we're looking at, and the game plan of where we're buying them, where we're selling them, so you know exactly what the plan is and exactly where to focus your time, energy, and attention before the market even opens. Then you get the courses. The courses are a simplified version of what I learned working at the fund in New York. You get all of them: beginner courses, advanced courses, options, swing trading, trader psychology, crypto, futures. All of them are included. There's no VIP courses after you join that cost another $1,000. They're all included. Then you've got the video library. The video library has about 400 hours of workshops and webinars covering different topics that we've done with members live. And then when you become a member, you can actually attend these live yourself. Now, guys, listen, I can't guarantee you'll be successful just because you join True Trading Group, but what I can guarantee is if you go through the courses, pass the quizzes, and attend the study group, and don't make back $920 at least once, I'll give you back $1,840. That's what I can guarantee you. Go to ttgoffer.com right now, enter the code TTG121, click apply code, price drops to $920. The next 40 people have access to that before Monday at midnight. Remember, the market's closed on Monday. Set your reminders for 2 p.m. Eastern for our live. If you are a previous trial, or previous member, and you want the $920 price point, you must text us 786-505-4049. We have to whitelist your email address. You can also text that number with any questions that you guys have. Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. I love you all. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the extra long weekend. The holiday market's closed on Monday. Don't forget it. I'll see you guys all on Monday. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Smash that like button. Turn on notifications. I'll see you guys all later. Have a great weekend.